And do you see a lot of the requirements are driven by the customers, Monel, or is it primarily sort of internal awareness of the needs for doing this?
In our space, it comes both ways.
Sure.
When we sign something called a NDA or some other NDAs associated with our customers, they actually give us guidelines on how they want to protect that data and making sure the right people view that data who signed the NDA in some cases, right? You look at M&As, right? In particular, all NDA based, and who can see the data and access it. If you look at all these other use case scenarios, and I use use case scenarios in the context because it's the way we solve problems, right? We're not getting something and saying, hey, let's apply it. No, these are the problems we're trying to solve. And that's how some of these cases are there. So it's coming both ways. And we have our own program to be the safest choice. And that's where being the safest choice means we also encourage and they also encourage. It's a good partnership.
Great.
It's actually interesting for that, but how old some of the organizations that you're finding? Because in my experience, aerospace and defense, right, we're talking 30, 40, 50 years of even legacy, either data, processes, way that we've shared, either data sovereignty, restricted data for your export control, or data that is confined based off of who paid for it or where. So you have into association that this type is different than this. One of the challenges we've had, you talk about the pain point in secure, is there's a lot of manual processes that have been built out over the decades to enforce and encapsulate that either data sovereignty or regulation. And then they're already used to the frictionless, if you will, even though there's a manual process from that. How do you, are you seeing that from like legacy, not just systems, but processes and workflows that DRM or IRM or using DLP, whatever you want to go with it, starts either breaking or you have to rewrite completely because it doesn't do a one-for-one for those workflows, and they're comfortable, that's what they know, versus the pain point of transitioning, which would be ultimately faster, quicker, and more secure.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly correct. When you deal with older companies, you have either the source code lost, whatever you have in the whole ecosystem, right? You have ways people do business, and it doesn't want to disrupt business. And you know, when we started the program, and we're looking at this model, and we're evolving it. Please don't get me like we're there. We take use case, right, and we're evolving it. And one of the key things we said is, let's take a look at each of the way data comes in and each of the way data goes out. And in a lot of cases, DLP, DRM, all these things are based on one key aspect: tagging. And doing what we want to do with tagging and enterprise tagging. And that's something that we want to take a look at, because a lot of files, and Michelle knows this, Secure and most DRM or DLP, they don't support certain file types. We get like step files, we get like weird files, we get files, CLAF files that don't even exist, that I didn't even know these acronyms existed, right? And the reality is can't be protected everywhere, but we are finding ways to tag them. Because those are legacy processes. Those are business-related processes that we need to integrate with. And what happened is, in our environment, it was a mandate. You know, we got to take a look at all these processes that are part of the business. The higher you go upstream, the better it becomes. Because if you're building this in, you know, hey, this is the program we want to go. We're building this with our partners, our business partner, our organizations, and saying, hey, let's help you become safer. And you know, it has pros and cons, because they understand. I'll say something different as well. The customers are coming in saying, "Hey, why are you not doing it?" Those processes need to change now, right? That technology footprint also needs to change. So the pressure is coming in multiple ways, where they have to do. They're kind of, I won't say they're put in a path of protecting data at the highest level.